Alright, I have some breaking news that could genuinely change the way the media is able to cover politics over the next 4 years. Donald Trump's pick for the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, is officially sending out letters threatening to sue people for just criticizing him in the media. You know, a few weeks back, I thought Matt Gaetz was going to be the most dangerous pick when he was slated to be the AG. Then I thought RFK Jr. could be the most dangerous pick if he actually nukes our water or milk. But now I'm starting to think it's not Pete Hegseth. It's not RFK Jr. or Tulsi Gabbard. Kash Patel may be one of the most damaging picks ever, and that's already manifesting in absurd ways. It's not even just about this letter that Kash Patel just sent to Olivia Troye, who used to be a White House aide for Mike Pence. It's about the chilling effect of letters like these on the media who may change their behavior. I mean, I'll never change the way I cover Trump. I know MeidasTouch will never change how they cover Trump, but remember when Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski went and visited Mar-a-Lago the week that Trump won? It could be because Trump has threatened the media many times in the past. I mean, just for some solid examples, in 2020, Donald Trump sued the New York Times over an opinion piece that he thought was defamatory and offensive, and he lost. In 2022, Trump sued CNN for referring to his false election claims as the big lie, and then Donald Trump lost and said that was their First Amendment right. In 2019, he sued the Washington Post and lost. He sued Tim O'Brien in 2006. He sued Michael Wolff. He sued the Pulitzer Prize Board in 2022, and that lawsuit was dismissed because the courts found no legal basis. So Donald Trump puts out these lawsuits to draw up a narrative that he's being persecuted, that he's fighting back against the system, and as much as I want to say that it's dumb and it doesn't work, I guess it was part of the reason that he won the election. So let's jump in to Olivia Troye. She said, "Today, Kash Patel sent a letter to my counsel threatening to sue and demanding I retract my MSNBC comments on his unfitness to serve as FBI director. This follows his threats against media and political opponents, showing how he might act if confirmed. I stand by my statements." And I'll show you the statements. I'll read the letter in 1 second. But dude, doesn't Kash Patel just look nuts? Like, this photo of him, it looks like he just learned that he got chose as the director of the FBI. He's even surprised in this photo. And I want to show you some clips of Kash Patel that show you the type of person he is, because as I was doing my research, I realized I know people like this. I knew people like this in high school and college. They're the worst types of people. This clip of Kash Patel is him gloating, flexing about how he has access to all of these secret files, but it just kind of reminds me of that dude in college that was always lying his ass off and very clearly lying about stuff that he's done in the past and how many girls he's been with. Just listen to the way this dude is saying, "Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro."
I never believed that the CIA killed Kennedy.
No. You're talking to a guy that's read the entire JFK file.
You've seen all the secret stuff?
I've seen all of that, and I've seen the 7 pages of the 9/11 report. I've seen it all.
You don't say that to people that you can't tell what you saw.
Glenn Beck has actually a funny joke. He plays it off decently. He says, "Why would you say that to people?" Plays it off, but there's an awkward silence after Kash Patel just gloats. It becomes awkward for a second. Do you guys get what I mean when I say this was a dude in college who's always gloating about stuff he hasn't done? And it's for some weird, insecure ego purposes. This guy drips insecurity, in my opinion.
You're talking to a guy that's read the entire JFK file.
You've seen all the secret stuff?
I've seen all of that, and I've seen the 7 pages of the 9/11 report. I've seen it all.
It just goes silent. I hate the way he says it. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. Like, cool. We get it, bro. We get it. You're cool. You're cool. I also want to show you this clip of Chris Murphy, a senator from Connecticut, explaining exactly why Kash Patel is a danger. Then I'll play the clip and read Kash Patel's letter.
This announcement that Donald Trump is going to fire the director of the FBI, whose term is not up, and put in Kash Patel, a political sycophant of Donald Trump. This is a red alert moment. And I don't completely understand why everybody doesn't understand how big this is. Donald Trump told us during the campaign that if he was going to be elected, he was going to use his power to turn the Department of Justice and the FBI into a political witch hunt operation to go after his political opponents. And he's doing it. That's what Kash Patel's qualification is to be FBI director. that he is loyal to Donald Trump, that he believes the FBI should be involved in the business of hunting down the political opposition to Donald Trump. What does that mean for you? Well, first, it means that there's no political dissent or speech in this country that is safe. But second, it means that the FBI is going to get out of the business of actually going after real criminals, of keeping you safe from gun smugglers, from drug traffickers, from corrupt Wall Street executives. And instead, they're going to spend all their time going after people who dare politically oppose Donald Trump.
Exactly. People who dare politically oppose Donald Trump. That's a perfect time to show you guys the clip that got Olivia Troye in legal trouble, or it may get her in legal trouble if she doesn't back down and take back her comments or whatever Kash Patel says. We'll read his letter in 1 second. But this is the clip of Olivia Troye, a former White House aide to Mike Pence, who worked as a counterterrorism officer. Here's her calling Kash Patel a delusional liar.
Well, you know, I assume I've met Kash Patel. What do you make of this nomination and the clear terror that it is unleashing in Washington?
Well, I think that these Republican senators and everybody who is familiar with the name Kash Patel also know the danger that he poses. And that is because it is a well-known thing in these inner circles by anyone who worked with Kash. And I worked with Kash in the White House. I was Vice President Mike Pence's counterterrorism advisor. So I had to coordinate with Kash a lot. Kash Patel is a delusional liar. Let me just be very clear about that. And he would lie about intelligence. He would lie about making things up on operations. I think Mark Esper has talked about that as well, where he put the lives of Navy SEALs at risk in an operation when it came to Nigeria. These are things that actually were happening in real time when he was in the role of CT coordinator in the White House. And I know this because at some point I realized that I needed to double check Kash's work to make sure that I wasn't misinforming Mike Pence by relying on his word. So I had to go around him. And this is a guy who openly has contempt for people in national security, for people especially at DOJ and the FBI. He made open comments like this. And so I think, there is a little bit of fear here from people where they know that someone like Kash Patel is fully capable of just doing partisan investigations, whatever it takes. It will be insane if he becomes the director of the FBI. And I fear for the law enforcement personnel there who are going to have to navigate this. And quite honestly, when I look at Kash Patel in combination with what is Pam Bondi going to do if she gets in as AG, is that top cover for him? I mean, these are all the things that concern me when I see all of these names being proposed for all of these different positions.
It is terrifying, and this clip got 1 million views, and due to Olivia Troye absolutely wrecking Kash Patel, due to the amount of views that this video got, Kash Patel thought, I have to shut this down. I have to do anything I can, including threatening to sue for defamation. So let's read what Kash Patel sent to Olivia Troye, but really quickly, when she calls him a delusional liar, who she had to go around him because she couldn't even trust his work, doesn't that map on perfectly to this clip that I played of Kash Patel gloating to Glenn Beck, where he was like, oh dude, I've seen this all. Just look at him. You can just tell he's bullshitting in this, right? But back to this. Today, Kash Patel sent a letter to my counsel threatening to sue and demanding I retract my MSNBC comments on his unfitness to serve. So what does she even have to retract about those comments she just said that I played on MSNBC? Those were Olivia Troye's lived experiences that she said are backed up by people like Mark Esper. So this reads, regarding the retraction demand and document hold and preservation demand, dear Ms. Troye, this law firm represents Kashyap Patel. Litigation will be filed against you if you fail to publicly retract defamatory statements you made about Mr. Patel on MSNBC on December 2nd of 2024. Be further advised that you should identify and preserve all hard copy and electronically stored documents, information, and data that relate in any way to Mr. Patel and your statements about him on MSNBC. Again, every single time that Donald Trump and his minions try to sue the media in the United States, they lose. But the worry here is once they have control of all of these institutions, they can make it seem like they're winning. I mean, I've had people in my personal life tell me, dude, you're going to be getting IRS audits out the ass. The IRS is going to be looking for some reason to put your ass in jail. And I'm not really worried, but it's just like, I'm doing my taxes right this year. That's all I'm going to say. And then I'm triple checking. Not that I would ever do them wrong, but I am making sure that everything is perfect. On December 2nd, you appeared as a live guest on MSNBC and made several false and defamatory statements about Mr. Patel. These comments include that Mr. Patel would lie about intelligence and would lie about making things up on operations to the point where Mr. Patel put the lives of Navy SEALs at risk when it came to Nigeria, and that Mr. Patel was even misinforming Vice President Mike Pence. But the thing here is, you can't defame somebody if what you're saying is 100% true. And Kash Patel wouldn't have a case here because multiple people have corroborated this exact story. This reads, how Kash Patel was suspected of nearly botching a SEAL Team 6 rescue mission in Nigeria. Kash Patel, Donald Trump's selection to lead the FBI, was blamed for an incident that threatened to jeopardize U.S. SEAL Team 6 during a rescue mission in Nigeria. Patel served in several positions during Trump's first admin, quickly rising through the ranks of the Department of Defense. I mean, any liar, any terrible person rises through the ranks. I've said this multiple times, but I swear to God, if I were a scientist and I had a lab where I could create the worst people imaginable, I still wouldn't be able to come up with Pete Hegseth, Matt Gaetz, and somebody like Kash Patel. Now, the incident in question occurred in late October of 2020 when an American named Philip Nathan Walton was kidnapped from his farm in South Niger and brought to Nigeria. The armed kidnappers demanded a ransom, and U.S. officials were concerned that they would kill Walton or hand him over to an Islamic terrorist group. Then Secretary of Defense Mark Esper detailed the incident in his memoir about his time in the Trump administration. He describes a tangled web of incomplete information being relayed to various agencies that should have been involved directly or indirectly in the planning and execution of the rescue mission. Now, FBI Director Christopher Wray, whom Trump nominated Patel to replace, and Bill Barr were not informed of the impending mission despite Trump's approval until Esper told them about the plans himself. The United States was waiting approval from the Nigerian government to enter its airspace and carry out the raid. Patel had informed the acting principal deputy officer that they had gotten the prerequisite approval for the mission. He said that we got the approval. However, hours later, with the U.S. forces only 15 minutes from the border, Esper found out that they did not, in fact, have the Nigerians' approval and that Kash Patel was straight up lying. Mark Milley and Mark Esper then had the U.S. military aircraft circle in an approved airspace until they received the green light. Quote, my staff told me, upon hearing this news, Tata called Patel back and engaged in a heated conversation saying, what the F were you thinking? You could have gotten them killed. And Patel said, if nobody got hurt, who the F cares? Esper notes that his team suspects Patel made that approval story up. That entire side tangent, which was important, that was a story to prove that what Olivia Troye said on MSNBC was corroborated by multiple people, but also, I can't even tell what's more terrifying. Number one, the idea that Kash Patel had that much power, or the idea that Kash Patel could possibly be the director of the FBI, lie to multiple different agencies at once, and have the entire U.S. government completely on different pages. Could you imagine if there was a national crisis, which, I mean, the odds of one happening during a Trump presidency, had they happened during his last presidency, we had COVID. If there was a national crisis and Kash Patel was in any position of power, he would botch it. He couldn't even handle a rescue mission that he just had to wait for a phone call from the Nigerians, and he completely botched that. If this dude was the director of the FBI, that would be terrifying. But also, if he gets denied, it would be kind of funny to know that Matt Gaetz got denied, Kash Patel got denied, Pete Hegseth would most likely get denied if Kash Patel gets denied. It's just hilarious to know that Donald Trump's entire cabinet is going to get nuked. But let's continue reading this. They say that Olivia Troye lied about Mr. Patel putting the lives of Navy SEALs at risk. Then the letter says, this is a complete fabrication, and you know it is false by virtue of your former position in the White House. At no point did Mr. Patel ever lie about national intelligence, place Navy SEAls at risk, or misinform the vice president. Not only did you have actual knowledge of the falsity of the smear, but you also did so with malicious intent of degrading his character. Here's the question. Am I going to trust Mark Milley, Mark Esper, Olivia Troye, all of these people that have shown they actually care about our country somewhat and have a backbone? I think General Mark Milley is a good American. They have all come out and said, dude, Kash Patel is an absolute freak. Am I going to trust all of those people? Or am I going to trust Kash Patel himself? I'm sorry, but it's easy. This then reads, Mr. Patel demands that you retract your lies in a public statement on your X account within 5 business days of receipt of this letter. And Olivia Troye on Blue Sky and on X said she is not backing down and she stands by her statements. Shout out to Olivia Troye. Maybe I'll get her on the show. She's a warrior for democracy at a time when this could have a chilling effect. Like I said, I will continue to relentlessly push back on Donald Trump's lies, Elon Musk's lies, whatever I need to push back on, I will, and I'll be here as a pro-democracy voice, hopefully a beacon of truth, but this could cause other journalists, other media outlets to hesitate to publish investigative pieces or critical opinions of Donald Trump and his cabinet out of fear of legal repercussions. I mean, even if their reporting is truthful and protected by the First Amendment, I can imagine a reality where Kash Patel is somehow the head of the FBI, and then he tells Pam Bondi to prosecute this case for this reason because this person criticized Donald Trump. So the mere threat of receiving one of these letters, even if it doesn't go through, what we need to understand is that even if this letter doesn't go through, even if this lawsuit doesn't go through whatsoever, even the threat of sending these letters can totally hurt the media. Also, even the cost of an independent journalist having to defend themselves against legal threats could bankrupt their business completely. I mean, if I just had a few lawsuits that were really pricey, it could impede my ability to make videos on a day-to-day basis, and that could lead to a landscape dominated by only the largest, most financially secure outlets like the ones that have already failed us thus far. It also just damages public trust, and it deters investigative journalism when people think that they're going to get sued for some reason. So I'll leave you with that. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you want to support the independent media that I'm doing, because we're trying to push back against this. But yeah, love you guys. I'll see you in the next video, and peace out.